Hey everybody, it's Murgle, and so today I'm gonna start doing this 20 days of gold making thing. I don't know, many of you were asking me to make videos about it, and I had no idea what it was. And so I guess the YouTuber Want to Buy Gold, right? He made some kind of 20-day thing with his blog. I don't know exactly the details. I kind of got confused when watching the video, but it's about 20 days of making gold. And I guess I go over the stuff from when I watched his videos about it. I go over the stuff on each day, right? That's kind of what the videos appear to me. And well, I'm really far behind because I guess it's 7 days now. So I will go over the first 7 days of what I would have done if I would have known, right? So on day number one, it says, what are the origins of your gold farming, right? What are the origins of you making gold? And, well, for me personally, I was a broke ass bitch up until Wrath of the Lich King. I was a complete and utter peasant, right? I didn't have. I was lucky if I was able to repair my mounts, which sounds surprising because when I hit level 40 back in vanilla, I was able to get my normal riding mount right at level 40, and I don't even remember how. I did a lot of dead mines, and I ended up getting enough gold to buy it right when I hit 40. So I don't know what was happening back then. I guess I had more interest in it, but then I know through all of Burning Crusade and the majority of the beginning of Wrath of the Lich King, I was so broke I didn't know what to do with myself. And for a long time that's how it was, right? Well, at the midway section of Wrath of the Lich King, I wasn't raiding too much. I kind of was getting out of the raiding habit and was focusing, because all the way up till Wrath of the Lich King, all I did was I wanted to raid in some light PvP, right? I loved raiding light PvP. But, late Wrath of the Lich King, I was starting to die off from raiding, and I said, I don't want to be broke. And I hid my way down. I was looking for the rarest items in the game, and I just wanted to farm something extremely rare, something that nobody has, just to see if I could get it. And sure enough, I found out about the Hyacinth Maw, which was from, at the time, could only drop off the pirates that you killed down here on these boats in Stranglethorn Vale. Mind you, we didn't have flying in we didn't have flying on Eastern Kingdoms yet then too, because that wasn't introduced until Cataclysm. So I spent a week straight. I killed 28,000 pirates. I'm never gonna forget the number because I killed 28,000 pirates. The drop rate on the Hyacinth Maw at the time was 0.00007% or something extremely low like that off the pirates. It was a 1 in 10k drop rate. And 28,000 pirates later, I got one. I freaked out because I just didn't expect it, right? I mean, I was there obviously farming for it, but you still don't expect it once it happens. And I sold that baby in Wrath of the Lich King for 25k, which in today's standards, 25k doesn't seem like a lot, but with the inflation rates, 25k in Lich King was a huge chunk of gold. I sold that baby for a lot. I can't calculate the exact amount, but I mean it was a lot compared to what today's value would be if I was selling it. And it was just nuts, right? It was crazy. I couldn't believe it. Finally got it, and I was sad because in Cataclysm they ended up changing it to a zone drop. I was actually going to go farm another one. I was so excited I finally got it, and I couldn't believe how much I sold it for. And after that, just started farming gold and making money. So that was my origin. The day two is goals, and for goals, I never had a goal, right? I just, there was things I wanted, but I couldn't really say I had a specific goal. I think my first goal was getting the Spectral Tiger, but I think that's it was just something cool at the time. There weren't as many Spectral Tigers, and just the idea of getting it to me was, crazy, right? I couldn't imagine spending that much money on a single item. And I should have bought it in Wrath of the Lich King when I sold that pet for 25k, because the reason was, back in Wrath of the Lich King, the normal Spectral Tiger, the level, um, well, the epic mounts weren't all 100% speed, right? It was the blue mounts were 60% and epic mounts were 100%, but in Cataclysm it changed to make every mount 100% speed. So the blue Spectral Tiger in Wrath of the Lich King was only like 12 to 16k, and it went way up in price because after it turned into a 100% speed mount, it was much, much faster. So I should have bought it when I sold that parrot for 25k. But I ended up getting it, I think, um, because I started collecting mounts, and I ended up selling a Poseidus, which I didn't even get it, right? My girl got both Poseiduses that we got as drops. But she ended up getting two of them, and so we sold one of them for, I think, 60k. A Poseidus back in Cata for 60k. And then we ended up buying because transmogrification came out, and that's when I started farming transmog. We ended up buying a Spectral Tiger, the original one, for 180k back in Cata, and that was nice, you know. I finally got that goal, so that was my first ever goal, I guess. And now I really don't have goals, right? I just farm gold because I enjoy doing it, and it's nice to have a lot of gold, because, you know, I give a lot of it away. I also just want to have gold in case there's something I want to buy, and, you know, it's nice to have it there. So OG tips, original gold maker tips. I don't know. OG's usually like original gangsta, so I guess OG tips day 3. My tips are, you know, be patient. You know how many times I wanted to give up killing pirates? I mean, after 20,000 pirates, you know, you kind of hit that mark where you're like, I bet this isn't gonna drop ever. I seriously spent like 8 hours a day just killing pirates. So I mean, I'm telling you, no matter what you do, if you just put patience and, you know, give it time, the thing you want will eventually come. It doesn't feel like it, but it actually does. Alright, day 4, storing gold. Well, this was a lot more difficult when we didn't have a 10 million cap. Now we got a 10 million cap, so storing gold's essentially easy. But right, I used to have a point where I needed a guild bank and then multiple characters just to carry around gold, right? So storing gold's really, really simple now that they made that nice 10 million gold cap. So thanks, Blizzard, for simplifying things. Banker tips. I have the worst banking setup of any gold maker you will ever see. It's just a mess. My banks are horrible. They are all absolutely filled with junk. Like 90% of the stuff in my bank is probably gray, and I don't even know it because I just throw it in there. So you don't want banking tips from me because I'm a horrible banker. Yeah, banking tips from Murgle, wouldn't recommend it. Definitely not something you want to listen to, because I'll be like, well, when I'm at the bank, I just go click, 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 and then I walk away and go start farming something else. That's my banking tip. Throw it in there as fast as possible so you can move on. Alrighty. So day 6 was about the best market. The best markets for me were always transmog, right? I made the majority of all my gold. Like, I would say like 90% of my fortune comes from transmog, and everything else is just you know, side gold, really. I'm not even kidding you, so much of my gold originates just from transmog. If it weren't for transmog, I probably wouldn't be nearly as rich as I was. Pets are fun too. Pets are a lot of fun, and they have a wider market, right? Transmog can take months to sell. Pets usually only take a couple days, but transmog can take months to sell. Like, I have literally gone months without selling an item. Twink items were really nice, though with the changes to Legion, I'm not so sure they're worth as much, but there's still a nice market. I heard a buddy of mine got a pair of the Hotshot pilot gloves. You remember the gloves that I sold for 800k? He said he got a pair about a week after the 7.0 release, and he managed to sell them for 300K still. So I mean, they're still best in slot for Twinks, right? They're still going to be best in slot, even though everybody was cursing down. Oh, there went my disconnection. Everybody was cursing down, saying that best in slot is gonna go away. Well, that's not true. There's plenty of best in slots for Twinks still, and they're still gonna pay for it, even if it's just a few minor points, right? That's what the idea of best in slot is. It might only affect you like minutely, but it's still best in slot. That's kind of what the word stands for. And finally, number 7, the last day we're going to cover in this one, it says new tunes. It's about new characters. Well, when it came to WoD, I didn't have a lot of level 100s, or I didn't have a lot of max characters before WoD, right? Once WoD was released, I used to carry around like 3 or 4 classes at max level, depending on what was best at that expansion, you know? I wanted to be really good for that expansion. And I would carry around 3 or 4 max levels. And, where's the invasion? There's got to be something going on here. And before that, it really didn't matter, right? I had one farming class, one class that I raided and on, and then usually one class that I PvP'd on. So it wasn't necessary for me to have so many max level mains, right? But with garrisons, like, max level mains were amazing for gold making because you were making so much profit off just having a max level character, right? It was necessary to have as many max levels as possible just so I could get rich while AFKing for the most part. Like, that was one of the points of having max levels. And again, with Legion, the majority of my gold's probably going to originate from the class order hall since it's going to give so much too. So that's my thing on new characters. Now it's kind of important to have as many as possible just for the simple fact of passive gold. Before it wasn't necessary because, you know, like I said, I had one farming character. Whatever class was really great for farming. Murgold didn't come into play until Mist of Pandaria when Warlocks became farming gods with all their abilities. And, you know, especially my favorite farm, which doesn't exist anymore, but I was making like 15K an hour. And I'm telling you, hard 15K straight gold. Not even joking. During Mist of Pandaria, they used to have a trickster farm, and it was these little monsters that would spawn right here in the Vale, like in this Mist Vale village, like this little path here. I think it was right here. And they were infinite spawns, right? But Warlocks during Mist of Pandaria were the best class. Like, they couldn't die at all. And I could kill these mobs in the course of an hour. I would get an entire, I could pretty much get one Alani per hour, right? I was getting 8 to 10 sky shards an hour, and I was getting tons of boxes from the Potion of Luck, and plus tons of mats. Like, I even got a couple world epics while doing that, and I was selling those for crazy amounts. Like, it was insane, right? I'm not even kidding you. I was getting hard 15K an hour, pretty much raw gold, right? That's how much I was looting per hour, and it was a great farm, but they, of course, nerfed it. That was by far the definition of overpowered, right? Anyways, that's my days 1 through 7. You know, I'll try and make a video about this every day. So thank you for Want to Buy Gold for making this thing. Thanks to all the people that wanted me to make a video about it, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.